Welcome to a narrative that challenges conventional understanding of ancient warfare. For centuries, the Roman legionary has been immortalized as the epitome of military might and unwavering discipline. Yet beyond the grand chronicles of tactical genius and the clash of steel lay an adversary far more formidable. This was no barbarian horde, nor a rival empire, but the raw, unforgiving power of the earth itself, a world forged in fire. Imagine a vast, untamed landscape where every single step was a brutal test, every season a potential destroyer of armies. This brutal, ever-present reality was the true crucible that relentlessly forged the legendary resolve of the Roman legionary. Ancient historical records, meticulously preserved across millennia, reveal a struggle not just for territorial conquest, but for sheer elemental survival. They speak of unimaginable distances traversed through scorching deserts, over treacherous icy mountains, and across impassable forests. Their relentless advance confronted the biting cold of Germania, the suffocating heat of North Africa, and the ceaseless, drenching rains of Gaul. Disease, relentless hunger, and profound physical exhaustion were constant, unseen enemies, slowly eroding both the body and the most resolute spirit. Expert military strategists of the era understood that mastery of logistics and absolute endurance against nature was paramount to Rome's vast expansion. Before ever facing an enemy's spear or shield in combat, these men grappled with elemental fury, hour after grueling, relentless hour. It was in these monumental, often solitary confrontations with the natural world that their fabled discipline was truly tempered into unyielding steel. Every backbreaking labor, every night spent shivering in a remote, windswept camp, hardened their collective resolve into something truly unbreakable. This wasn't merely about enduring harsh conditions. It was the deliberate cultivation of an unyielding will, an impregnable inner fortress against despair. Join us as we uncover this often overlooked battlefield, revealing the true scale of the Roman legionaries' monumental struggle for mastery over self and world. The legions of Rome, a mythical force in antiquity, did not spring fully formed. Their genesis lay in profound transformation. From humble farmers, they were forged into an instrument of conquest and power. This was a deliberate, systematic design. Roman military might rested upon an unyielding crucible of discipline, meticulously crafted over centuries of warfare. This discipline permeated every facet of a legionary's existence, shaping mind, body, and spirit, far beyond mere battlefield obedience. Recruitment began with harsh Roman realities. Every able-bodied male citizen was a potential soldier, a defender of the Republic. Selection was rigorous, scrutinizing character, resilience, and willingness to endure beyond simple physical prowess. Farmers and craftsmen, stripped of former identities, were destined for a new life under the eagle of Rome. The sacred sacramentum bound them to commanders and to Rome's soul. It was an unbreakable, profound vow. Basic training, 4 to 6 months, was a brutal, relentless regimen designed to break and rebuild the individual. They learned to wield the gladius with precision and cast the pilum with devastating force, weapons becoming extensions of their will. The most grueling aspect was relentless marching, the true test of a legionary's endurance and mental fortitude. 20 miles a day, often more, under sun or rain, carrying an 80-pound pack of armor, weapons, and supplies. This was the iter justum, the proper march, covering vast distances, bringing Roman power swiftly to any frontier. Every night, a fortified castra had to be constructed from scratch, a meticulous and backbreaking military necessity. These temporary fortresses, with ditches and ramparts, provided vital security against human foes and unforgiving elements. Roman engineering, famed for aqueducts, began in legionaries adapting to hostile terrains, not just grand cities. Their toolkit, spades, picks, axes, saws, as crucial as swords, transforming obstacles into pathways for conquest. They mastered the environment, bridging rivers, traversing mountains, hacking through dense, unfamiliar forests. Nature was integral to training. Blistering heat, biting cold, torrential rains, and deep snow hardened them. To conquer meant adapting relentlessly to every environmental adversity. Failure meant death, not merely defeat. Expert analysis reveals Roman strategy fundamentally integrated environmental challenges into operational planning. Beyond marching, daily drills were continuous. Weapon practice, formation maneuvers, physical conditioning for readiness. Pugilism, wrestling, and sparring with heavy weapons honed reflexes and strength, making each legionary formidable. These rigorous exercises, simulating chaos, instilled unshakable resolve and swift, decisive action under pressure. At the system's heart was absolute obedience. Orders were executed with unwavering precision and immediate effect. Centurions, hardened veterans, embodied discipline, driving men through sheer, uncompromising force of will. Punishments for cowardice were brutal. Beatings, fustuarium, even decimation for collective failure. Exceptional bravery met coveted awards, medallions, land grants, even the ultimate prize, Roman citizenship. This balance of fear and reward psychologically conditioned soldiers to fear centurions more than enemies. Shared suffering and collective endurance forged an unbreakable bond of camaraderie, a brotherhood of iron. This esprit de corps transformed recruits into a cohesive, unstoppable fighting machine where loyalty was paramount. Beyond combat, legionaries battled logistics, the unseen enemy of every ancient military campaign. Maintaining supply lines through hostile territories was monumental, demanding ingenuity and vigilance. Foraging for food, scavenging for resources, living off the land, essential, daily honed survival instincts. Disease, more lethal than any weapon, silently decimated legions, nature's indiscriminate power. Roman medicine, though practical, had limitations, relying on the legionaries' will to survive epidemics and injuries. Constant struggle against attrition sharpened survival instincts, making them resilient beyond measure. Historical records illustrate commanders factoring geographical and climatic challenges into strategic decisions. The psychological toll of unending campaigns, far from home, was immense, yet discipline prevented demoralization. Resilience against despair, a profound Roman virtue, was ingrained, shielding them from incessant warfare. Roman legionaries were engineers, builders, survivors, walking fortresses, reflections of Rome's might. Their ability to overcome human foes and brutal nature became legendary, a testament to unwavering will. This systematically designed crucible of discipline created the most formidable fighting force antiquity witnessed. It was a testament to ingenuity, strategic foresight, and unwavering belief in their empire's destiny. Rome's triumph, spanning centuries, was etched not just by steel, but by sweat, blood, and legionaries' indomitable will. Beyond the sun-baked plains and disciplined formations of the Mediterranean, a new and brutal frontier beckoned Rome's legions. The Rhine, a storied river, marked not merely a geographic boundary, but a precipice into an entirely different world. This was Germania, a vast, untamed expanse shrouded in ancient forests and whispered fears. Here, the legionary confronted an enemy far more primal and pervasive than any barbarian chieftain. Nature itself rose as a formidable, relentless antagonist, intent on consuming any who dared trespass. The dense primeval woods of the north swallowed disciplined formations whole, stripping away Roman tactical advantages. Sunlight struggled to pierce the colossal canopy, casting perpetual gloom upon endless, winding paths. Treacherous bogs and unseen swamps became deadly traps, ensnaring heavily armored men and their beasts of burden. This was not the open, maneuverable battlefield Rome had mastered. It was a labyrinth designed for ambush and despair. Then, the northern winter descended, transforming the very landscape into a weapon unlike any forged by human hand. Arctic winds howled through the forest, bringing a bone-chilling cold that pierced even the thickest woolen tunics. Frostbite became as common and insidious a foe as any Germanic spear, slowly claiming fingers, toes, and spirits. Snow blanketed the earth in an instant, obliterating meticulously scouted paths and vital landmarks. Supply lines, Rome's lifeblood, stretched perilously thin, creating a logistical nightmare unfolding across leagues of ice. Food rotted quickly or simply could not reach the isolated forward camps, rendering vast quantities unusable. Starvation gnawed relentlessly at the legionaries, steadily weakening their bodies and their legendary resolve. Even Roman engineering, a marvel of the ancient world, struggled desperately against relentless, accumulating snowdrifts. Roads painstakingly built by thousands of tireless hands vanished overnight, buried beneath feet of frozen white. This brutal, unforgiving environment crucially facilitated devastating, unseen ambushes from the hidden tribes. The native warriors, masters of their own terrain and the cruel seasons, melted into the snow-laden woods with chilling efficacy. Their swift, brutal hit-and-run tactics exploited every Roman vulnerability in the unfamiliar freezing wilderness. The tragic tale of Publius Quinctilius Varus stands as a stark, indelible warning from historical records. In 9 AD, 3 veteran legions marched deep into the treacherous heart of the Teutoburg forest, heedless of the gathering storm. Poor intelligence, coupled with the hubris of command, proved catastrophically fatal in the face of such adversity. Arminius, a chieftain who once served Rome, masterminded their demise with cunning and intimate knowledge of the land. A sudden, savage autumn storm intensified the German onslaught, turning an arduous march into a desperate fight for survival. Rain turned quickly to sleet, then driving snow, blinding the heavily armored Romans and freezing their fighting spirit. Logistical failures meant dwindling rations and equipment, exacerbating the already dire and freezing conditions. The legions, trapped, disoriented, and utterly overwhelmed by nature and foe, faced complete and utter annihilation. Varus's disaster was a profound testament to nature's unforgiving power when combined with a resourceful, indigenous enemy. Yet, even in such profound defeat, the Roman spirit of adaptation and resilience ultimately emerged. Subsequent expeditions, though often punitive, learned harsh lessons, forging a new kind of hardiness in the legions. The indomitable will of the Roman legionary, tempered by ice, mud, and the blood of their comrades, remarkably endured. From the unforgiving chill of snow-clad mountains and tempestuous northern seas, Roman legions faced nature's wrath in myriad forms. Yet, an adversary of an entirely different, more insidious kind awaited them beneath the relentless, searing glare of the desert sun. Our journey now takes us to the vast, shimmering expanses of North Africa and the ancient lands of the Middle East. Here, the very ground became an enemy, an endless canvas of scorching sand and rock, utterly devoid of mercy. The legionaries, these titans of the ancient world, confronted a foe as immense and unyielding as any barbarian horde, the desert itself. This was a realm where water was more precious than gold, and shade, a fleeting mirage tantalizingly just beyond reach. Scorching daytime temperatures, often exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, turned metal armor into instruments of torture. The air itself seemed to crackle, thick with dust and the promise of debilitating heat stroke for the unprepared. Night offered a stark, bone-chilling contrast, plunging temperatures that tested their endurance in a different manner. But above all, the omnipresent specter of thirst stalked every march, every skirmish, every moment of existence. Men could go days without food, but mere hours without water spelled a swift, agonizing end in this cruel landscape. Roman military strategists understood this existential threat implicitly, developing ingenious solutions to sustain their forces. Historical records attest to meticulous water planning, an often overlooked but utterly vital component of desert campaigns. Engineer corps were tasked with finding and securing water sources, digging deep wells, and constructing temporary cisterns. Expert analysis reveals their mastery of hydrologic engineering, crucial for maintaining operational tempo across barren lands. Water convoys, often comprised of hundreds of pack animals laden with heavy leather bladders, were critical arteries of supply. These convoys moved under heavy guard, their precious cargo representing the very lifeblood of the entire expedition. Rations were strictly enforced, sometimes just a few sips per man per day, pushing the limits of human resilience. Under this crushing burden of heat and thirst, legions undertook forced marches of astounding length and difficulty. Imagine thousands of heavily armed men, clad in wool and metal, trudging across endless dunes under a merciless sun. The psychological toll was immense. Mirages distorted the horizon, playing cruel tricks on weary, dehydrated minds. Hope could evaporate as swiftly as moisture from the desert floor, replaced by despair and growing desperation. Yet, the iron discipline of the legions, forged in countless campaigns, held them together amidst this profound suffering. Centurions maintained order with an unwavering resolve, pushing their men beyond what seemed humanly possible. From the Egyptian sands under Augustus to Trajan's bold thrusts into Mesopotamia, the desert demanded supreme fortitude. Campaigns like Septimius Severus's push into the scorching heart of Arabia stand as testaments to Roman will. These were not merely battles against human foes. They were epic struggles against the earth's raw, elemental power. The sheer audacity of these ventures, often hundreds of miles from secure supply lines, beggars belief even today. Roman logistical prowess, combined with a collective, unyielding spirit, consistently defied nature's most brutal challenges. The men who survived these desert infernos emerged irrevocably changed, their resolve hardened like tempered steel. Their victories were not just over rebel tribes or rival empires, but over the very limits of human endurance. This relentless crucible of sun-scorched sands did not break the legions. Instead, it forged their will into an indomitable force. It solidified their legend, cementing Rome's dominance, even in the face of nature's cruelest, most desperate trials. Beyond the roar of battle, an adversary far older and more relentless loomed. The very landscape itself. The Roman legions, masters of war, found themselves locked in a ceaseless struggle against nature's unyielding might. This was not an enemy to be outflanked or routed. It was a constant, insidious opponent, testing their every step. From the northern bogs of Britannia to the distant eastern peaks of Armenia, geography presented an epic, often lethal challenge. Consider the treacherous marshes, vast miasmic stretches of stagnant water and deceptively soft ground underfoot. These seemingly impassable wetlands swallowed supplies, equipment, and even entire platoons without leaving a trace. The air often hung thick with disease, a silent predator thriving in the humid, mosquito-infested gloom of these unforgiving places. Yet, the legions responded not with retreat or despair, but with their unparalleled engineering prowess and iron will. Miles of agaries, elevated causeways built from timber, fascines, and stone, rose defiantly above the unyielding muck. Through sheer backbreaking labor, they transformed unyielding swamps into vital arteries of imperial advance and logistical might. These were not mere roads. They were monuments to human will, forged against the very indifference of the natural world. Then, the towering mountain ranges, formidable bastions of rock and ice, dared them to advance further into unknown lands. Passes were perilously narrow, often choked with snow, and brutally vulnerable to ambushes from unseen enemies perched above. Each arduous ascent was a profound test of endurance, where thin air and treacherous footing claimed many a weary soul. Here, legions carved strategic roads directly into solid rock, defying gravity and geological resistance with astonishing determination. Thousands of men, armed only with pickaxes and relentless resolve, shaped the very face of the earth for Rome's glory. Their mastery of logistics ensured vital supplies could traverse these forbidding altitudes, securing essential footholds for expansion. Rivers, too, posed formidable obstacles, their currents swift, their depths unpredictable, and their banks often heavily defended. Vast waterways like the mighty Rhine and Danube were not merely boundaries, but strategic battlegrounds and logistical nightmares. Bridging these aqueous barriers, often under fierce enemy fire, demanded incredible courage and unparalleled engineering speed. The legions constructed elaborate temporary pontoon bridges, allowing entire armies and their equipment to cross in mere hours. These astonishing feats of rapid construction were critical, enabling swift assaults and maintaining unbroken lines of supply. They were a testament to the legionaries' ingenious adaptability, turning liquid barriers into strategic avenues of relentless conquest. But amidst these visible struggles against terrain, an invisible enemy stalked every camp and campaign. Widespread disease, malaria, dysentery, and countless other scourges decimated legionary ranks more effectively than any barbarian horde ever could. Historical records and expert analysis reveal that illnesses frequently claimed far more Roman lives than the most brutal battles. The constant exposure to unfamiliar environments, poor sanitation in temporary camps, and lack of modern medicine were merciless adversaries. Yet, even in the face of widespread sickness and debilitating fatigue, the legions pressed on, their collective spirit miraculously unbroken. This continuous, relentless fight against the unforgiving elements forged an almost unbreakable resilience within the Roman soldier. Every road meticulously built, every swamp courageously traversed, every mountain heroically scaled was a victory as profound as any on the battlefield. These engineering marvels were not merely practical infrastructure. They were profound statements of dominion, etched forever into the landscape. They speak of a relentless, unyielding spirit, a testament to what an indomitable will can achieve against nature's raw cruelty. The legionaries' enduring legacy is not just one of military conquest, but of monumental human endeavor against the seemingly impossible. The relentless crucible of nature, so vividly endured, carved more than just scars into the Roman legions. It forged an indomitable will that fundamentally reshaped their entire civilization. These constant struggles against the raw power of the elements were not mere obstacles, but profound transformative experiences. Each grueling march through impassable swamps, every desperate crossing of frozen mountain passes, served as a brutal, visceral curriculum for the legionaries. It instilled a resilience rarely seen in the annals of ancient warfare, hardening their spirits against despair. This forged will became the bedrock of their character, an unwavering resolve to confront and overcome any challenge, whether man-made or elemental. It wasn't simply a trait. It was a deeply ingrained philosophy of endurance. Such profound environmental battles fundamentally altered Roman military doctrine, moving beyond conventional tactics to embrace an all-encompassing strategic mindset. The very blueprint for conquest began to account for nature's formidable resistance. Strategic thinking evolved dramatically, demanding that generals not only outmaneuver human foes, but also master the landscape itself. Every campaign became a dual war, fought on two fronts simultaneously. The ability to operate effectively and conquer in virtually any environment became a distinguishing hallmark of Roman military prowess. From sun-baked deserts to chilling northern forests, no terrain was deemed truly insurmountable. This unparalleled adaptability translated directly into an unprecedented expansion, allowing Rome to stretch its dominion across continents and diverse biomes. The empire's reach knew no natural boundaries. It instilled in the Roman soldiers a deep sense of self-reliance, transforming each legionary into an engineer, a builder, and a survivor, capable of adapting to the most hostile conditions. Historically, military analysts emphasize that Rome's consistent success in projecting power owed as much to its environmental mastery as it did to its tactical brilliance. They conquered nature to conquer nations. This profound experience of enduring and overcoming the wilderness also deeply impacted the identity of the empire itself. Rome became synonymous with an unyielding, resilient force. The legendary discipline of the legions, oft praised in historical records, was born not just from drills, but from surviving countless nights exposed to blizzards or scorching heat. Every constructed road, every temporary bridge over a raging river, bore witness to this unshakable determination, concrete symbols of a will bent on mastery. The constant need to overcome natural barriers honed their engineering marvels, transforming practical necessity into world-changing innovation. This was problem-solving on an epic scale. Logistical expertise, often overlooked, became a strategic advantage unparalleled by their contemporaries, ensuring armies could be supplied even in the most remote and hostile territories. This was the price of mastery, untold suffering and immense sacrifice. Yet through it emerged a military machine capable of sustained operations wherever the empire decreed. The legionaries' readiness to face any element fostered an unwavering internal cohesion, for they knew their lives depended on each other in the face of nature's impersonal fury. Their encampments, meticulously planned and rapidly constructed, became sanctuaries not merely from enemy attacks, but from the unforgiving embrace of the wild. This persistent struggle developed an institutional memory of resilience, passed down through generations of soldiers, solidifying Rome's reputation for never yielding. It also cultivated a unique form of battlefield psychology, where the Roman army's presence alone could demoralize enemies, knowing pursuit was inevitable, even into their natural strongholds. No river was too wide, no mountain range too high, no forest too dense for the legionaries, whose sheer will could bend the landscape to their strategic objectives. This long-term strategic advantage meant that Rome often dictated the terms of engagement, forcing adversaries to fight on ground chosen by the Romans or be endlessly harassed. The understanding of how to exploit or negate natural obstacles became a core component of their strategic planning, meticulously detailed in military treatises and campaigns. From the frigid northern frontier of Britannia to the scorching deserts of Syria, Roman legionaries demonstrated an unparalleled ability to adapt and triumph over environmental extremes. The psychological impact on conquered peoples was immense. Seeing an army overcome what seemed impossible fostered a belief in Rome's invincibility. This enduring legacy of resilience profoundly influenced subsequent military powers, setting a benchmark for what an organized, disciplined force could achieve against all odds. It cultivated a specific brand of Roman pride, rooted in the collective memory of struggles overcome, solidifying their identity as the ultimate masters of their world. The stories of legions battling blizzards or marching through disease-ridden swamps became integral to their national narrative, inspiring future generations. This mastery of adversity was not just about winning battles. It was about demonstrating an unwavering commitment to the empire's vision, regardless of the cost. Historical records underscore that this environmental fortitude underpinned Rome's capacity to maintain control over vast, disparate territories for centuries. It teaches us that true power emanates not solely from arms, but from the unyielding spirit of those who wield them, shaped by the crucible of necessity. The constant push against nature's limits embedded a deep-seated confidence within the Roman system, fostering an institutional belief in its own boundless capabilities. This remarkable ability to overcome geographical and climatic challenges allowed the empire to project its cultural and political influence far beyond its immediate borders. The legionaries' forged will ultimately became a metaphor for Rome itself. Battered, tested, yet always finding a way to endure, adapt, and ultimately to dominate. This profound historical lesson echoes through time, reminding us of the enduring power of human perseverance when confronted by the overwhelming forces of the natural world. It stands as an eternal testament to the human spirit's extraordinary capacity to conquer adversity, transforming hardship into the very foundation of an unparalleled legacy. As our epic journey through the annals of ancient Rome concludes, we confront once more the profound truth. The legionaries' most formidable adversary was often not man, but the unforgiving hand of nature itself. From the scorching deserts to the freezing Alps, across treacherous seas and impenetrable forests, their campaigns were a relentless testament to enduring unimaginable environmental hostility. It was through this crucible of nature's cruelty that the legendary Roman discipline, their famed resolve, was not merely tested, but profoundly and irrevocably forged. This unyielding spirit, honed by relentless struggle against the elements, became the bedrock of their strategic brilliance and the ultimate guarantor of their imperial ambitions. Their story serves as a timeless, powerful reflection on the indomitable nature of human resilience, demonstrating how adversity can sculpt the very essence of greatness. The enduring lessons of ancient Roman discipline, courage, perseverance, and unwavering dedication echo across centuries, guiding future generations through their own trials. These are not merely tales of a bygone empire, but universal truths about leadership, sacrifice, and the boundless potential residing within the human will to overcome. Their legacy inspires us to face our own challenges with similar fortitude, reminding us that true strength is often found in the most arduous struggles. If you have been captivated by this cinematic exploration of history's deepest insights, ensure you subscribe to our channel for more unparalleled historical analyses. Join us again as we continue to unveil documented truths and strategic brilliance, offering cinematic historical insights from a truly leading analysis channel.